4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis to assemble the framework for the science laboratories of tomorrow.
Houston now controlling.
What happens when your parents call your name? Come here. Most of us will come to their mom or dad if called. Some of us will even hurry up and run to our parents because they are the ultimate authority in a kid's life.
Ethan! Down here now! We need to talk!
Zen, come here right now! Yeah, what happened? Finally you're here, pass the remote.
A summons is like when your parents call you to do something. Your parents summoned you to come to them, the same way the courts do. The courts issue a summons for a lawsuit that is filed against a person. Except the court usually issues a written notice or a written summons, unlike your parents just calling your name.
An idiot like me, if you get a summons, you need to figure out how to respond to the court. Don't just think because they give you
Go ahead and just cry.
I don't want this one.
Not guilty. I cannot tell a lie, but I cannot tell on myself. It's something like an official letter, but its history runs as deep as DNA. Today, it is a letter. Yesterday, it was a stone tablet. And tomorrow, it might just be a text. We know that across the world, Africa, Asia, India, Europe, the United States, or North America, that summonses have been used by different authorities in power to call people before a court or a tribunal. So, for instance, in prehistoric or ancient Africa, the king or the chief would call somebody who might be in trouble to come before the village elders. In Egypt, a pharaoh may call on a subject to come before all of the royals to testify about what happened with the grain stores. In Asia, the emperor may have called on a subject to testify about what happened to the Great Wall. In Europe, a subject may be called before the empress or the king or queen to testify what happened in the newly then discovered world. And in America, we use a summons most often to call a person before a court, such as one with a judge, or a tribunal, such as when Congress does an investigative inquiry. For Jussie Smollett, a former actor who was suspected of making a false police report, he was summoned to court with an indictment, meaning the state's attorney's office complained criminally that he committed a crime. And then he was tried and convicted, and then appealed, and then his conviction was overturned. And along the way, spent a couple of nights in jail. The reason that everything turned out this way for Jussie is because he had already struck a plea deal with the state. He would pay a few $1,000 and do a few hours of community service. So as a result, he couldn't be placed in jeopardy again. Or in other words, he completed the deal, even if the state was pressured to take the deal back. The point is, Jussie was commanded to appear in court, and he was commanded to have a legal fight over whether he made a false police report or committed perjury. A summons might affect anyone, including you. Just like your parents may have told you, come here, like a beagle. If someone you know is commanded by the court to come before it, or is summoned to come to court, if it's a court of law, it's probably a good idea, because the court is telling you to come and fight it out. A person can go and say that they're not guilty, or that they're not liable, or that they're justified in what they may or may not have done. Regardless, it's always a good idea to come to court as prepared as possible for the fight, legally speaking. If you want to find out more about summonses, please reach out by email or comment below. Like or subscribe, and happy holidays. Stay safe.